Do you want today's episode to be extreme? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Very extreme.
Go hard or go home, innit?
Hello, welcome to episode 8 of the podcast no one gives a fuck about. Hello to all 15 viewers. This is Russell Bland. He's a comedian who I've gigged with many times. We have some great times on the road over the years. I brought him in. I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about, but if us two can't think of something, it's time to pack in. Hello, Russell. How are you?
I'm good, Jimmy, my friend. Yeah, really well. I've got probably the best coffee I've ever tasted.
He makes a good brew.
Well, yeah, this is a professional job. You've got baristas bringing me that salted caramel. I didn't even know you were into this kind of stuff, mate. I thought that'd be too pretentious for you.
I've got black children's foreskins sprinkled on mine. That's not racist. The barrister told me it was acceptable to say. How's life treating you? What are you up to these days?
Pretty much in the same boat as everybody else in the new norm, Jimmy. Fucking stuck in lockdown and because of COVID-19, which I know you personally don't believe in, do you?
Shit. But at least you're doing something. You've started your own.
For you, Fat Jimmy.
Wow.
I think we should.
Wow.
Because I think we should be wearing these, shouldn't we?
Fuck off! I'm not wearing them. That.
You should have one of them on, mate.
I went to Wigan Hospital other day. I've got a bone in my foot that's broke. It's not healing properly. They said, you have to put one of these on. I said, I'm not putting one of them on. And I walked out and my foot's still fucked. But fuck them. I'm not wearing that. You know what I mean? Half of them was in fucking corridor dancing to Beyonce routines and everything. Some old cunt in bed. Some old cunt fell on floor out of bed because they needed the colostomy bag changing and they're fucking doing all this at fucking corridor. I'm sorry, Russell, I'm not wearing that.
I purposely brought it because I knew I'd get that kind of reaction, mate, to be honest.
Fucking give it Bobby Murdoch, you know what I mean? The funniest thing I've ever done. Bobby Murdoch. How did I know you? When I first met you at a Bobby Murdoch gig years ago. What year was it? 2012?
Well, I would have been doing comedy 10 years this year. So it was quite early doors when I first started. What year are we in now?
2020.
So yeah, probably about 2010, 2011 when you met me.
Yeah,
2011, and we had Bobby Murdoch gig and
Bobby Murdoch, who's a fella from Warrington. He was the David Brent of comedy.
He's a 2-bit comedy promoter and not even.
You know, he would never give me an headline slot. I appreciate you putting your name forward, Jimmy, but I just don't feel you're ready yet. He's about as funny as a fucking burning orphanage. I hate using other people's old fucking phrases, but I can't think of anything fucking say. And he put these comedy shows, most of the comedy scenes are full of knobheads, basically. Russell, I'd just like to say at this point, right, these are my comments and my thoughts, they're not Russell's. Russell wants to do comedy again. I don't give a fuck me. You don't own me. You don't own me and you won't finish me. So fuck you, all of you stupid fucking promoters, you know. But most of the Northwest comedy scene is made up of fucking little dickheads who aren't funny. You know what I mean? They just got all the dickhead mates that come to fucking gigs and... I'm not arsed, you know, but...
You do make some valid points though, don't you, Jimmy?
But, you know, we had our own crew. We had Harry Bristow.
We had our own crew.
We had Harry Bristow,
yeah.
Steve Hayes. They wouldn't give Steve Hayes gigs. Steve Hayes is funny, but he's a bit short. But you know what I mean?
He's actually here right now. Just can't see him.
Yeah. But...
polishing my shoes. Good lad, Steve.
But the four of us went out and we went all around the Northwest, ripping landlords off and disappointing promoters kind of thing. And we had some good times on the road.
Getting kicked out of some places as well, to be quite honest, weren't we?
What was your favourite? Is there any gig that was memorable? Not necessarily for the right reasons.
With you, there's been plenty of gigs memorable with you, mate. I think one of my most memorable gigs with you was the Rabbit Salon
the Rabbit Saloon in
Norwich, and I think you were having a bad night, were you? You were coming back a bit too quick for somebody's liking, because believe it or not, out there, when you shout at a comedian, you are going to get your arse ripped open several times if you do that, aren't you? And some people in the audience don't think that's going to happen and think that they are funnier than the comedian, and you were taking the piss out of someone, weren't you? Go on, I know you're dying to tell
and I owe you an apology for that. You know what I'm going to I owe you something. I'll give you a free mug after the show. But
fucking hell, mate.
What happened was
spoiling me.
We got a gig at the Rabbit Saloon in Norwich. I wasn't on benefits at the time.
Nice gig.
And what happened was, it was a posh venue. They sold all this fucking Ugandan fucking wine, and Peter Davis would have fucking loved the place. Anyway, okay. The landlord got in touch with me and said, we've not sold many tickets. I says, okay, this is what we'll do. Don't pay me, pay the other lads. Okay, so we goes down, and it wasn't a brilliant atmosphere.
I never knew that.
No, that's what. I'm like Jesus in comedy. I've been crucified, and so I'm a bit like the comedy Jesus. And I will come back from behind.
Just never come back.
Save me Easter eggs. But yeah, so the gig went on, and it was a bit shit, really. And it was my turn, and I was on stage, and there was these two knobheads at the bar, and they were talking over me, and I thought, you know what? I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not going to fucking carry on.
But what we'd done is we'd opened up the doors, hadn't we? Because it was ticket only.
Yeah.
But because it hadn't sold enough, we said, we'll just open the doors. So I reckon you'd already got a bee in your bonnet about that.
I always cause trouble.
So we were bound to get people talking because they weren't really coming for the comedy now. We were just trying, once they were coming in, they were like, we were trying to get their attention. So they were chatting at bar and you weren't enjoying it, I could gather.
Because like I'm a narcissist and like mentally ill, I said to Luke, if they don't get thrown out, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not carrying on. And I just stood there. Bouncers went over and they filled the bouncers in. And then they broke the manager's nose.
They broke the manager's nose. They got him in the actual sound booth for the stage, and they were hit it fuck out of him. I stood watching it.
And the whole barroom area erupted into like a barroom brawl.
Smashed the window.
They got thrown outside and they smashed the glass door, and there was a carpeted glass. I was on stage, nobody were fucking listening. There was a carpeted glass. There was fucking police coming in and Indian gangsters from next door.
I went back on stage and carried on like police were looking at CCTV to try and find people.
Was that what you were doing?
Yeah, you'd done a runabout then because coppers were there.
Oh, well, no, what it was like, and I had enough of that night, and I was meant to be giving you a lift back to Preston.
Well, I was kind of on a date.
I know,
but not on a date. I've been seeing this girl for a bit, but I already knew she was moving to Australia, so we were just fucking each other until she left. And I said, come on, come to Harwich. It'll be a nice little gig. We'll have a few drinks, and then Jimmy's going to give us a lift home because he's a nice lad like that.
I'm sorry.
You drove past me.
Use it street like that way, saying, can you give me a lift? And I thought, my head had gone, and I thought, I'm going home, I won't fuck him. But I'm sorry, I apologise for that, Russell.
You've apologised enough, mate, you don't have to apologise anymore.
No, but...
Because you give me, I think it was one of those gigs where it was a big fee. I think it was 50 quid you give me, and it was 40 quid to get out with fucking taxi. And I promised her a slap up meal as well. So that was a fucking knockoff KFC out way back. And
there was that fucking good kebab shop in where we always used to go up here, and they used to take us to a kebab shop.
Yeah, I can't remember which one that was now, but it used to be a good one. We used to have a few kebabs. That used to be our thing, didn't it?
It did. Is there any other like stories you remember of on the road, stories of, or not necessarily gigs we did, or memories of what went on in worth of notes?
Yeah, I've had loads, me. Like a lot of them. Like, I don't want to mention his name too often, but we'll do it now as Bobby Murdoch. Jimmy just does the best.
Bobby Murdoch.
Yeah, if you've never seen Bobby Murdoch, just check him out on YouTube. Don't do the full 30 seconds to give him a view because he's not worth it. He's shit.
I particularly enjoy the Bobby Murdoch picture where he stood by some children's building blocks. Have you seen that one? It's amazing. Yeah. It's like. A psychologist would make a lot of that fucking picture.
You described it perfectly. You used the David Brent of comedy. You can't take the fucking guy seriously. But I did do it first, right? Because I was brand new to comedy. He were one of the first people to give me like an open mic gig away from competitions and that. And he'd come up to you afterwards. And I remember once you were sat there. We were sat on that little couch in that fucking underground dungeon that he used to do gigs in. And he'd be like, Russell, Jimmy, I think you were better than him. You know what I mean? You'd been going longer than him. But I don't know I don't know what your story was, but I remember being like, one day you two will be able to do 10 minutes and then you'll be able to get paid for doing comedy. I was buzzing because I'm looking at Jimmy, and Jimmy was being properly patronised by this absolute muppet because he's dog shit. He's awful.
He's not good. He's like Jason Manford's retarded brother or something like that. He actually has a retarded brother, doesn't he? So, like his other brother. Anyway, fucking, I don't give a fuck, me. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. If YouTube want to strike this, Fucking strike it. We'll put it on library and BitChute. I'm past fucking caring. We've knocked our cunts out to make these podcasts. And what we get 200 fucking views last night. I'm sat at my computer like a lonely bastard refreshing my mouse. Come on, there must be more views than this. Come on, we've got fucking thumbnails made off Matt Hodges and Chris D doing sound and Colin. And we've spent our money on that. We've got fucking pallet wood and everything like that. We get fuck all. And some fucking wanker can sit in a fucking lorry fingering his ass and gets 1,000 views a video. Or some fat little fucking twat going looking at fucking dry stone walls, watching by pensioners and potential fucking school shooters. I'm sorry, Russell, I'm on it. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I've got a problem now. I've got a fear that Bobby Murdoch's a fucking trigger for you.
I can feel it. I can feel it. He's in me now. I can feel it.
Taking up.
The dark one's in me, so anything's going to happen now. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but we're going to have fun. That's the main thing. Fasten your fucking seatbelts, kids. Are in for a bumpy fucking ride.
This is what my this is what my trips used to be like all the time. On tour with you, it'd just be you ranting like fuck and me laughing my tits off most of the way.
You can feel the power of a rant. You can't beat fucking cleaning your soul.
I can feel it. I can feel the aura coming off.
You can feel bad vibes crawling all over your skin.
But yes, I was at that Bobby Murdoch gig and he was patronising you, and I thought he was a don. Mate, I thought he was like the best big size man because he'd given his open mic spots. But I swear to God, it only took me about a month from there to progress quickly to realise what he was. So I started kind of like treating him a bit bad then. And stage and stuff.
At this time, I had won King Gong twice, and he's coming up to me saying like, "What I think you should do is, what I think you should do, Bobby, is fuck off."
Yeah.
But I used to use him as a compere, and then one day he said, "I think I'm worth more now than 50 quid." So I said, I just fucking didn't answer him anymore.
He put something on Facebook once upon a time, back in the day, that right, where comedy works, when you get paid depending on what the gig is, how many is the venue, what the promoter's budget is, etc. We all know that, don't we?
Yeah.
He put on Facebook, didn't he? I'm putting my fees up by 20% next year. What the fuck are you on
his gigs, no wonder he had put his own shows. I met everybody went. I fucked him off then, and
I don't know what he's doing these days.
But he wouldn't use me, and I was proficient then, and I was headline standard. I'd actually done some stuff for Off the Curb, the best comedy agency at the time. Well, it is still, but
still is,
I fucked that one up. But that's another story. And he wouldn't give me fucking an headline slot at these fucking gigs in front of 7 fucking people in wheelchairs and some fucking somewhere in fucking Whiston or somewhere like that. You know what I mean? Or you'd go somewhere. It would like you'd been airdropped in the middle of a fucking pub full of cocaine dealers with a microphone without fucking copper wire showing through and all that. It cuts out every 5 minutes and people looking at you like you're a daft cunt, for fucking 25 quid. I've done all that. Fuck that shit.
I remember he gave me my first comparing gig though. In that underground fucking...
You feel eternally grateful?
Not really.
Did he give you your craft?
It was in that underground fucking child molesting mug.
Yeah, fucking Fritzl's fucking dungeon in Warrington.
And my first gig I ever had, there was some Scouse one, I'll never remember his name. He's not like, he's never made it or anything. Just think first...
like most of them come.
First ever comparing gig. Doing all right myself. I've had a good 5 minutes. I bring on the first act, bring him on, Scouse lad. He does a minute, breaks down on stage and starts crying and fucking runs out.
That's good. I like that, me.
I didn't know what to do, me.
Just it sorts the wheat out from the chaff. But
it does. But what do I go? Do I go on stage and take piss out of him, or do I just crack on with a gig?
Comedy is a harsh mistress,
but
as you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of gigs that Bobby Murdoch did put on, probably still does put on.
Well, not anymore. COVID-19. COVID-19, I will thank it, even though it doesn't exist. I'll thank it for destroying the careers of all these fucking wank comedians who thought they was fucking Jesus. You know what I mean? Look at you all now with your GoFundMe pages and fucking just scratching about in shop doorways for fucking fake Amber Leaf fucking dog ends what somebody's thrown out. You fucking cunts. I'm not arsed.
You never have been, mate. You've always been quite vocal, haven't you? You've always said your piece.
It's very therapeutic.
There are a lot of pricks on the circuit, though, mate. There is 100%. It's a fickle place to be on.
Let me just say, we get on. I've no friends in comedy. They've all fucking stabbed me in the fucking back at various fucking points, like, you know what I mean? So, what do you think of comedians from a psychological... We're going to talk about a bit of psychological shit after.
Yeah.
What do you think do you think most comedians are horrible people or fucked up people?
Fucked up? Everyone's fucked up. I think I don't know. I never knew that was the case, because I always knew I was a bit fucked up. I've had problems all my life with like depression and shit like that, and I used writing and comedy as a way out. And once I found the stage, I used that as a bubble to protect me, and a chance to interact with fucking other people, because I hate humans, mate. So I had a chance to talk at people.
Yeah, then fuck off.
Yeah, then fuck off, and that's it. And I felt like I got my daily dose of interacting with society. So yeah, but I do think a lot of them are, and I don't think I've met so many narcissists and so many backstabbing bellends in my life.
No.
If you can go 7 years, right, making friends what you thought of friends on a comedy circuit, trip up once, they'll fucking have you. They'll stick the knife in. They'll kick you in the head. Anything to just see them step above you and go a bit further.
Well, we're not going to go into what you said the wrong thing. You was in the wrong place mentally. You said the wrong thing. And you got fucking hung out to dry like I did, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
we'll have a chat about it. I said some unsavoury things on Twitter. I'd had some drugs. I'd done a lot of drinking. I was a place where I'd watched like end my life. And I think I'd just let a load of shit out that wasn't even me. And they jumped on it like a bunch of fucking horny hyenas, mate. You got disgusting.
Lots of they cancel your shows.
They got in touch with like people that I was running shows for. They got in touch with like the venues. They got in touch with promoters who they knew I was linked with. The whole lot. But at the end of the day, people who did know me, there's a lot of people on the circuit who did know me, still stood by me. They were like, "That's not you, Russell." Yeah. But there was people who known me like 7-10 years, and they were like, "Just fucking cash you aside straight away."
Oh, completely. But
you see people for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, you've always been here, Jimmy, haven't you?
And I also went through a bad time, and but the thing is, I was just a cunt. I wasn't on drugs or just mentally ill. I just come out with loads of things all the time, because that I can feel the devil in me now, kind of things.
Coming out, but
what you have to ask yourself is, Russell, where are them people now this time? They'll be wanking off in the mother's back bedrooms, watching fucking Coffee Morning or something.
They'll be doing fucking...
You're watching YouTube.
Zoom gigs to fucking 4 people.
Fucking talking to a fucking 9-year-old girl on TikTok with Mark Feely. You know, who the fuck are you? You're nobodies. You're all finished now, and I'm glad, Adam Rushton. What are you doing now?
Oh, mate,
Adam Rushton, how funny are you? You're that funny, you had to become an agent. You know, you're that funny, and you had to become an agent because your comedy was all shit, Mr. fucking Sailor. I bet you got bummed all over that fucking
I've got a story about Adam Rushton, in fact. Like, I used to get on with him as well, like, but he turned out to be a backstabbing prick as well. But we were doing a gig in Liverpool. I think it was for Hot Water Comedy Club or something, and I was the opener, and I've gone on and I do a bit of banter with the audience at first about swinging, and I come off stage anyway. I had a good gig. He comes up to me and goes, "You need to drop that gag." I went, "What gag are you on about?" He said, "The one about the swinging." I said, "Why?" He said, "I do one similar." I said, "I've been doing that about fucking 6 years, mate. I ain't dropping that." He starts getting really angry at me, like proper fucking angry. I said, "I'll tell you what, lad." I said, "The only thing that's going to get dropped in a minute will be fucking you outside." And he shit himself. He said, "He shit himself." Came back and went, "I'm going to get rid of that gag anyway." I was like, "You talk shit, Adam Rushton."
He has shark eyes. Did you see his eyes? Didn't he have dead eyes? You looked at me, had dead eyes. He looks like
he's albino, that lad, didn't he?
He's just a retard.
He's got some kind of... He's anemic.
Oh no,
he's got anemic comedy and he's anemic in his face. He's just a bellend.
But having said that, he's got some good acts like Big Lou.
Big Lou's alright, like, yeah, I don't mind Big Lou.
I don't like
him. Big Lou's a decent lad.
I don't like you. I'm sorry. I don't like you.
There's not many people who Jimmy does like.
I did a gig before... I did a gig. Can I actually use a joke that's offensive, Colin?
Well, we can always either
blank it out this bit, right? I did a gig for 80s Luke for his dad's. And I went down and I went there. And I did it, and what gig did I? What joke did I do? I did that one about. I have this isn't my normal job. I have my own quiz show on a cable channel in Markham. And what happens on the show is you get 10 cottle pickers on a beach, and the last one that doesn't drown wins. It's called the weakest. But anyway, this is good. I've dug myself in a right fucking hole here, but with no choice but to press on. You know, it's like Rambo in First Blood when they blew him in a cave, didn't they? And all the rubble, and he's in the cave. We'll scuttle our way out and fucking destroy a petrol station. What the fuck am I going on about? I can't even speak properly. It's the fucking throat nodes. I don't know what the fuck we're doing with this podcast. I just thought, you know what, I'll invite Russell down, we'll do some comedy shit, and we'll just freeform like motherfuckers.
I'm alright, mate. I've got a nice salted caramel. I'm having a good chat. I'm happy right now.
So, you've done sportsman's dinners before.
Yeah.
What do you think of sportsman's dinners from a comedian point of view?
I think when you first start out, they're tough, mate.
Yeah.
They're tough gigs. There are. I did one with Grant Holt for Norwich City.
Yeah.
And he was a right potential. Right, the gig was meant to start at 9 o'clock. I didn't get on stage till 11:30. They were pissed out of their head. They'd been there since like 4 o'clock eating and whatnot, having a disco. And he said, "I'm going on first." I said, "No, I go on first." He said, "Why?" I said, "You're the headline act." I said, "Once they've seen you, that's what they've paid for. They haven't paid to see some fucking like third tier comedian come on at end at night when they're all pissed." I said, "They've come see Grant out the football." He went, "No, I'm fucking going on first." I said, "I'm going to die of death then, mate." I said, so I went and got my money. Then. I said, "Can I get paid now?" Like I said, before I go on. Yeah, we'll go and get it. Yeah. So they paid me. Grant Holt went on. Smashed it, obviously, because they're telling stories about football and footballers that they know and they love it. I went on. Absolute dog shit. Material just like plummeted straight away. Best thing I did, I played Guess Who with a fucking table. You know what I mean? There was some lad with specs on, some lad with a bald head, you know, some Asian lad and that. I played Guess Who with them for like 5 minutes. They loved that. Lapped it up, went back to Material.
Oh, I've got a story. Dead. Can I just tell you?
Oh, wait, mate.
The word Asian put a light on in my head. I did this gig once at a sportsman's dinner, and there was a table of fellas in suits, and there was this well-dressed Asian. And I says, "All right, mate." I goes, "Who's minding the petrol station?" And his friends were kicking off with me, like, you know what I mean? And when I was walking out, they fucking come over and said, "Are you going to apologise?" I goes, "No." It's a joke. It's fucking comedy. You can't say fuck all now, can you? Sportsman's dinners are shit. I don't want to fucking do another one. You just sat there on a table and you're not into sport. You're bored out your fucking mind eating substandard food that some fat woman with dirty fingers has fucking made. And then they're all there asking questions about shit. It's like, Terry, what happened in 1979 in the dressing room between you and fucking Pele? Can you tell us a bit? Oh, funny you should ask that. When I first started playing, when my fucking foot fell off when I was 3, and my dad got me a plastic leg, and I was spotted by the local fucking coach who was a paedophile. He fiddled with me for a few years, then passed me on to Tranmere Rovers. I'm not arsed, it's shit. I've sat through thousands of them, not thousands, hundreds of them.
So you don't like sportsman's dinners, Jimmy? Is that what you're saying?
They say like you go in and somebody will go like, "Hi, I'm the chairman." In reality, the cunt drives a fucking forklift for some fucking some fucking warehouse in fucking Widnes. But for that night, he's got his fucking wanky little blazer on. "Hi, I'm the chairman."
You're quite right, mate, to be honest.
All these fucking people playing shop.
It's like the yin and yang of what goes on in the comedy scene here, isn't it? You know what I mean? I might give you some nice, insightful thoughts, and you could just be
I just want
dark side.
I just want to fucking rip the veneers and tell you what's what and how things work, kind of thing, you know, because the people need to know that the world's just full of people wanking themselves off at the more. It's like Facebook every day. You see them all with their fucking their Instagram feeds, and they're stood there like with a nice dress on and a fucking. They're just fucking scrubbers, really, and they're just lying to you. So don't get depressed because of these people putting shit on social media.
There are some nice people on the comedy scene, though, Jimmy. I'll have to try and introduce you to some of them.
I'm trying to think about. I probably.
Can you think of any away from me, Steve Hayes?
I don't want to mention any names really, because not to certain people, other people I couldn't give a fuck. But there was one we know well, and he was always messaging me ex-girlfriends, or my girlfriends at the time, and he messaged my girlfriend, and he messaged, and he fucking. He said, "Do you fancy going for a coffee?" And he kept mithering her. And he said, "She said, just as friends." And she says, "Go on then." And he goes, "Great, I can't wait to stick my tongue down your throat."
Where does that come from? Where does it go for a coffee to that?
I don't even get away with that in Costas really these days.
No, it's kind of rapey that as well, to be honest, isn't it?
You know, and as well, his message.
But he's not the same. But he did something same with mine as well. Like, yeah.
Was it you? Yeah, was it you who did it too? Yeah.
I think I brought a girl once to a really good gig that you did. Massive room. Great venue. I brought some girl on a first date, and I've just seen make a dart for. Well, I didn't really see him because he was in between the chairs. He was only about fucking 3 foot in. But I saw his head pop up at the end next to her, and I thought by the end of me finishing and me going and sit next to him and being on stage, he'll have her Facebook and a message her, and he had done.
I'm sorry if you watch. I'm not calling you. I think you're a fucking good comedian. I think you're a very good comedian.
You're just a dirty little lech.
You're a bit of a pervert, but I'm a pervert. I send dirty pictures. No, I don't anymore. I always ask. In my past, I've asked women for dirty pictures and stuff like that. I don't mind admitting shit like this, but you're a good comedian and you're very good with hecklers. You know what I mean? It was very
yeah,
sharp.
It's pretty sharp, like, yeah.
Very sharp. I'm not calling you. It's just banter. We're
just stories.
Don't banging yourself over this because I've enough on my fucking plate without fucking suicides and. Working this podcast, can we? I've got my shovel out. How further down into the mire of filth and laugh can we go? Really?
I don't know. Hey, what were we talking about that anyway?
We were talking.
All right, yeah. So
sportsman's dinners. I was just saying. No, I think they were shit. I've never enjoyed one of my fucking laugh. And the best. I tell you, who's good. Who I've worked with, Bruce Grobbelaar.
Yeah.
Who Mike might like. He's on his phone now. He's not fucking interested. He's over there. You know.
You said a Liverpool fan, didn't you, to pick me up?
I'm not asked about football, any football. I mean, I was always the fucking kid at school with a sick note on sports day because I couldn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Teacher used to send me in classroom drawing pictures, and by the time I left school, I was like Leonardo da fucking Vinci. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't. I don't understand, and perhaps we'll talk about this now. I don't get how people can get so passionate about football. Can you just explain it to somebody like me who doesn't get it? But it might be because I'm a sociopath and I have no fucking empathy.
I don't think it's like... Yeah, it might be that as well, Jimmy, to be honest. But
I have a theory. Can I stop this?
Yeah, no, go for it, yeah.
It's a bit of a feminist theory that a football game is symbolic rape. Would you like me to elucidate on this?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The goal is a vagina.
All right, yeah. I'd fuck it.
And these people from the other team are trying to put a penis, a ball, into the vagina of the other. Actually, it's quite a fucking woke fucking view on football. I could actually get football finished on this.
Jimmy Owens football.
I'm down with the pansexuals.
Yeah.
So do you think that football symbolises rape or that I'm actually mentally ill?
A bit of both, to be quite honest, Jimmy. But
yeah.
You never know. Some footballers might share that view, and that's the only reason they play football.
They could put a condom on the ball though and be more fucking kind of think. I don't know the fuck I'm going on about. I don't actually know what I'm fucking doing with my life.
So both teams are like a gang of rapists against another gang of rapists.
Yeah.
To see who's the rapiest raper.
It should be called the Rape Fuck. welcome to Wembley for another edition of Rape Fuck. What do you reckon? Yeah. I'm Billy Wanker, and we're going to have some really sexual, violent action today.
When a player gets sent off, there's fans thinking, "You're not raping anymore."
You should call it the bed. Now on the bed is fucking Raheem. I don't fucking know. I saw Raheem Sterling on a packet of Doritos. That's all I fucking know about him. Who's Raheem Sterling? He's some cunt on a bag of Doritos. Doing there. Why are you on my fucking Doritos? I don't give a fuck about you. I don't want to get fat and fucking die because like shit. I don't want to look at you, you stupid cunt.
But to be fair, I think you're mental, Jimmy. Do you know what I mean? At first, I was engaging between the idea and
have you seen the mental deterioration since you've last
it's happened. It's
gone on to, you know what I mean?
So football for me, I was just bored
into it. I'm having my adrenochrome.
I just think the pop is me. I think you're lying to me.
No, I've told you, it's black children's foreskin.
You're obsessed with it. You've got it up your nose and in your coffee.
And in an imaginary wardrobe for 700 quid. This fucking wafer company, I've heard about that. A company, and it's called Wafer in America. They were selling these shit sideboards, what you buy from MFI for fucking 80 quid for like 800 grand, and they had missing children's names. But you'd be gutted if you ordered a fucking fancy sideboard and a bound kid turned up in it. I'm not in a cardboard box. What the fuck's this? I wanted a sideboard. What am I going to do with a fucking kid with no clothes on? I can't fucking put him there. And, go home. Is it too much there? Go home, I don't know where you're from. I wanted a fucking sideboard.
I don't think she's going to know where he's from.
She's going madder. I've ordered her a fucking sideboard, and what are you doing here? Go next door. This episode is probably available on Library and BitChute because it's too. Colin said go for it, so I'm feeling better though. I don't.
No one actually gives a fuck why I like football now anymore. They just just want to hear Jimmy rant.
Interestingly enough, though, most of these episodes have contained the word adrenochrome. I don't know why that is, but we should.
Is this how most podcasts go?
Most of them are boring as fuck. Most of them are boring as fuck, and they're like, you know what I mean? You have one cunt talking and one going,
Yeah.
What's it telling me? No, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Or they get some fucking...
Well, it's dead weird for me because I think you're leading into the football because you're going to talk about my podcast and stuff like that.
Please save this podcast.
Yeah.
Please save us. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
And I'm used to doing podcasts online. So you have to wait for your turn to speak as well. Otherwise, there'll be like disruption on the video or audio will get messed up. And I've been doing that for the first half an hour here. I'm stuck in a fucking virtual world.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not being that because you're just talking. I mean, I felt like I couldn't interrupt because I might fuck up the audio or something.
No, it's all right. You can say what you want. Are we talking about Sigmund Freud and shagging people's mums yet? Or no, that's for the children's half after.
Well, you said
sponsored by Wafer fucking furniture sideboards.
Well, you sent a fuck. I'm a Man United fan when it comes to football. You sent a Liverpool fan, which is like our arch rivals. We hate the most. And you sent one to pick me up.
Is that right?
And he started talking about that he used to want to shag his mum.
No, well, you know, it's a Sigmund Freud, the Oedipus. Is it Oedipus?
He didn't actually say what shag his mum, but he told me.
No, the Oedipus. I don't know where the fuck have we got from fucking this to.
Well, it's a natural link from sports to shagging your mum.
Have you got from fucking the Oedipus complex?
It wouldn't be hard to go from to anything to do with shagging anything. Most of the circuit's been through his wife, haven't they? So.
He's gonna beat you like a dog wrestler. Yeah, basically, after the lawsuits and shit like that, Oedipus in Greek mythology, he fancied his mum, didn't he? And he killed his dad.
Right, see, I didn't know this.
Is that right, Mike? Oedipus, is it Oedipus? Oedipus.
It's Oedipal, I think.
I can't fucking read me. I'm a fucking retard. You know what I mean? Can we Google it? You can. I don't mind if you use the Google talkie bit. We're not rasty, but anyway, and Sigmund Freud reckoned that's a lot of where our sexual problem hang-ups come from, is that we all want to sleep with.
But I think it's weird that, mate. I think it's just a weird idea all the time because you can't tell what a baby's thinking or doing. That just seems like some perverted fucking thought process.
It's probably used by his staff.
Here we go.
Can you read that? I thought it was Oedipus. Is it a silent T?
Oedipus.
That's it.
Oedipus complex.
We know about him. Anyway,
the previous Sigmund Freud.
We shouldn't give Sigmund Freud a lot of time because he was actually a cokehead, you know. He was a bang-at-it cokehead, Sigmund Freud.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? But...
No, but I much prefer Carl Jung and his talk about the shadow self. Do you know? Are you familiar with the shadow? You could be watching that in action, where you have these depressed. But in society, there's certain parts of your personality that you have to repress because it's not acceptable.
How many are you repressing right now?
and so you have all these kind of you push all these repressions into your subconscious, and if you don't kind of make peace or address your shadow, it comes out in other ways to like bite you.
That sounds a bit bad.
I like it though.
It sounds a bit schizophrenic, that, well, to be quite honest.
We all have like hidden desires and things like that, I suppose, don't we, kind of thing.
So what you got to express them.
And so I don't know how, because it's like a lot of them might be illegal and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Jimmy Savile did all right.
Jimmy Savile did do too bad out of it too.
He got away with it till he died. You know what I mean? And then people said, "I'll show Jimmy Savile. I'll go and smash his headstone up. That'll teach him." All these things. No, he got away with it. And he was buried in a gold coffin.
Yeah.
Then it came out. All these fucking knobheads with toffee hammers smashing his head. We'll fucking show him. He's dead. What are you going to do now? You stupid bastards. Did you see that? Jimmy Savile with Louis Theroux documentary.
I love Louis Theroux, so I did see that.
No, did you see the second one where the cunt's covering his ass? And he's like, and this fucking woman's on it. She goes, "Oh, Jimmy came to the opticians and he said, send the one with the big boobs round the house." And so this girl goes round his house and is there. It says, and there was cornflakes everywhere and clothes on the floor.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Says, and I give Jimmy the spectacles, and he dropped his tracksuit bottoms and goes, "How's about that then?" And it wasn't even a joke. And she was just saying it straight face. I said, "Yeah, just straight for the money. You've waited 40 years. And all of a sudden, everybody's fucking doing claims, and you suddenly just become offended."
Claims. You made it sound like
She was probably jumping on it like
claims for you.
She was probably fucking jumping on it like a brand new one and had some cornflakes after. And
it was cornflakes on the floor, wasn't it, dirty bitch?
And a fucking Pop-Tart. I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about, Russell. Do you want to take a break at this point? Or?
Yeah, we could take a break, mate. If you
I just
want.
need to calm down because the voices are getting really loud in my head now. Thank you, and I'll see you in part 2. The reason... Hello, welcome to part 2. The reason Russell's laughing is I just made we were talking about the 80s show, the 90s show, Gladiator.
Gladiator.
And I just made an observation that Shadow looked like Purple Aki. That's it, really. I just needed to explain to you because we're going to keep this bit in.
I love the fact that I was talking about wanking over Jet, and I thought you might lead into the fact that there was somewhat of a fit gladiators on the day. Like, we're like, no, Shadow look like Purple Aki.
Well, we talked about Purple Aki the other week, kind of thing. But yeah. I'd like to apologise. I've been particularly wired today. I've been taking them Joe Rogan Alpha Brain tablets, and I've had loads of Collins fucking coffee. And I feel like I'm whizzing my fucking head off. And
good coffee though.
I've also been like channeling me shadow, my dark side today. So I apologise. And I've made this episode all about fucking me, which is a bit overly narcissistic of me. I'm going to tone it down in this half, and we're going to talk about Russell and anything Russell wants to talk about, kind of thing, because he's the fucking guest.
I'm not sure how long that'll last, Jimmy, but we'll give it a go, won't we?
I'm going to try and restrain myself, Russell. What we were talking about worst gigs before, spinner, and you remarked upon the spinners in Hindley Green.
Spinners in Hindley Green. It was going all right. There seems to be a bit of a theme to our gigs. I brought a girl along again. Quite often used to bring girls to gig dinner as my thing, but that's what you do. If you're funny and you're on stage, you're like the showman on stage, and then put in your hand. And I brought this girl along. She was mental though, mate, weren't she? She was batshit crazy. She just spent most at gig at toilet, coked up off her tits, coming out. Fucking wired, weren't she?
Was there plenty of fish?
I can't remember where. No, it wouldn't be plenty. I think I just picked her up at a fucking desolate fucking homeless shelter, probably. She was mental, early.
I know what the theme, the recurring themes to the gigs was everybody had a good gig till I went on, and I kind of did something. On this particular occasion,
I don't think you did anything wrong at this gig, but
I won't put up with dickheads. I'm very arrogant, you see, even though I never made it, and I always have that mentality. So when we're playing some fucking spit and sawdust joint in front of fucking people who were spoon-fed lead as children, you know, it was. On this particular occasion, there was no stage. We were just stood by the bar, weren't we? We were stood by the bar.
We were literally like a couple of steps up to like an eating area or a quite snug area, and we did it on there. I was comparing that night, and I won't lie, Jimmy, it was going on. It wasn't going too bad, but you didn't do anything wrong. There was just one pissed up knobhead who wanted to have a go at you, and you kept having to go back, and then he jumped on stage, and he like
on carpet. He jumped on
carpet. Sorry, he jumped on carpet. He staggered up a couple of steps onto carpet. And he came face to face with you. Now, it all got surreal for me at this point. I forgot that I was part of the show, and I was like spectator at this point. And then you slapped him out face, didn't you?
Well, what happened was he grabbed my balls. He went
He went
for grab my balls, so I just gave him not an hard slap.
Oh, you did it, didn't you? Just a little tiny slap.
Yeah,
right.
But at the end of the day, that's technically assault. And it's not. I'm probably like, this is probably kind of the aftermath of sexual abuse. Why I'm like this today.
But then again, if somebody went to slap my balls, they'd be looking to get away with a little slap that you give him. To be fair, but
I mean, you know, I'm sorry I cut you off there. Do you want to say something else?
That was it. No,
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm letting you down.
You're not letting me down at all, mate. You've done perfectly well.
You know, when you're a performer or an entertainer, especially a comedian, people think they have the fucking right to abuse you and throw it like a rag doll. They feel that you kind of they dehumanise you to like you're this thing where they can say
it's like you'd a court jester back in like the 1500s in front of the king or something, isn't it? If you get it wrong, you're going to have your head chopped off at some point. And sometimes that's how they treat you, isn't it?
And they feel like they can say what they want to you. And I remember one gig, you weren't there. We had Roland Gent with us, and it was a rough pub in Warrington. I can't remember the name of it. And Roland Gent panicked, and he compressed all of his comedy material into 10 minutes, and he went and they ran off stage. And he's the only person that I've ever ducked money. He's the only person I've ever ducked money off in all the years I've been doing it kind of thing.
Oh, lie, you've had a chance to duck money off me, mate. We once did a gig at...
oh, did I?
No, you didn't do it. I could have given you an opportunity to, though. We did a gig in a garage.
This is true.
This is true. Right. When Jimmy said we're doing a gig in a garage for Jaguar, I was thinking... like a Jaguar showroom or something that's surrounded by cars and fucking beautiful women and stuff like that. But it wasn't. It was just some lads in overalls fucking greased up to fuck with their old Jags with bonnets up and having a look at what's going on in the engine department. And I was like, is this really going on, Jimmy?
It was a back street in Leeds and an actual garage, and there was an inspection pit there and all tools around us. And we were in the fucking doorway, and they were all stood around like storage hunters, weren't they? Just Jaguar enthusiasts. And then because we had no, I don't remember what jokes you had. I had no fucking Jaguar-based jokes kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No, that's what you have to, weren't they?
Did somebody say to you afterwards? You should have done some jokes about how the X-Type is based on a Mondeo. That one.
I don't have any fucking interesting cars, me, man. You're talking fucking foreign to me.
You went on and did your 3 minutes.
Well, I think I was meant
that was the easiest 70 quid you've ever earned.
I think I was meant to do 20, and I reckon I did about 8.
I felt dead bad after, not because you'd done that, because I thought when we ever did a big bad gig, I always felt tight, and you felt like you were robbing money off the fucking owners, kind of thing. Some places you might have done gigs. I've done gigs where they're like that.
Yeah.
That they fucking begrudge paying you and you feel fucking bad and all that. But Mark Burton, hello Mark, you won't be watching this because it's shit. But he was sound with us, and he said I enjoyed it, mate. It's just that they didn't enjoy it because they're just fucking car heads. You know what I mean? They want you to talk about fucking.
They weren't laughed. It wasn't like
it was nice.
Complete silence or anything, but it was one of the tougher gigs and one of the most mental gigs. Like I've done some proper mental gigs. I did one in Greyhound. Is that near here? St Helens or something? Greyhound Hotel.
Do we know Colin? Is it great?
Lee, yeah, Greyhound. And they'd labelled it as a festival. And you got there, it looked at a massive stage, like huge stage. But they hadn't put like anything in place for the audience or anything, and it was pissing down wet. And there was just a canopy about 100 yards away with 100, 200 people crammed in it. And you know what it's like doing comedy, you need them up close and personal, no matter if it's a festival or not. And they were like 200 yards away, and all I could see was just one lad stood there, bent over, spreading his arsehole out for about 5 minutes, just sat there showing me his arsehole, because he thought that was the thing to do.
Bobby Murdoch made a career of that. But... yeah, the amount of times you do these, the worst gigs we've done.
Some of the best ones to talk about.
The worst ones are free entry gigs.
Yeah,
they just don't get it. There's no stage, and they say, yeah, it's free entry, the punters will enjoy it. The punters don't want to fucking know. They want to come out and have a fucking drink and call the wives or just talk about shit over a pound. They don't want some knobhead in a microphone talking shit in a corner. And a lot of these occasions, you're set up to fucking fail before you start, aren't you? I remember I did one. It was with Andrew Lawrence. You know that he's relatively famous, and it was the Heineken Christmas Do, and it was for Stephen Watson. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Stephen.
This is a story for you. Stephen Watson was an agent, and And
He sounded enough lad, weren't he?
Yeah, let me get on to this. He phoned me up. He said, you're one of the best comedians I've ever seen. I want to sign you. And about 3 days later, it was sectioned. And this is a true fucking story. It was phoning me up saying, I'm buying a Learjet, and we're going to fly you all over to Las Vegas. And let me just tell you, and the day after he phoned me up, he says, have you got a spare 15 quid? For 15 quid you can lend me. Because apparently Learjets use a lot of fucking diesel. And then another time, I shouldn't be saying this, but fuck it, you know what I mean?
Same day he'd done that, apparently, I was meant to do a gig for me in Wales, and he'd been ringing around other people, telling them that he'd got an helicopter ready to come pick him up around the UK to take him to this gig in Wales.
And he phoned well, I've lost where I was saying, but he phoned me up at 8:30 in the morning from inside the loony bin. He said, I need you to go to London and pretend to be me.
Maybe tell me this.
He said, my dad's already down there pretending to be me. I need you to go down to this comedy conference and pretend to be me, kind of thing. And another time, he goes, I'll do a southern accent in a minute. He goes, yeah, I'm only in this nuthouse to change the NHS from the inside. And then he just stopped the call and says, I'm going for a poo. And
that's just like him, that's too
you know, and that's the story of my comedy career.
Bless him. He's a decent lad and he lost his way.
I'm sorry, he's alright now, he's got a girlfriend, and it's me what's going to be ending up in the fucking nuthouse anytime shortly, but...
I did once do a gig for him at some barracks on the south coast, and I got a lift there by outed paedophile fucking Russell Haynes. Do you remember him?
Mixed race comedian.
Yeah. And he lived on Elephant Castle, and I'd gone round to his house to get a lift to this gig.
Was it full of kids? That?
He's got kids.
Oh, he's got
kids and his wife and that. And all the way down there, he was talking about how he loved his days as a gymnast instructor. That's what he got done, fucking fiddling with kids as a gymnast instructor. You know what I mean? So he was still like loading it up and whatnot. Did
you go in the house?
Yeah.
Did he have any Wayfair furniture, cabinets, or anything?
He had some kid that apparently a neighbour had got sent instead of like decking and been told to go next door.
Fucking hell. No, then.
It's called back that Jimmy from yours before.
Oh, sorry, I'm shit, Russell. That's why my comedy career is finished. That was fun, and people laugh at that. But this must be.
They won't. But anyway, by the by, I was going somewhere else. Yeah, so I went to this gig for Steve Watson on the barracks, and it was in like the officers' mess and that, and the gig went really well. But it's like fucking. I was living in Essex at the time, so it's like 200 miles away from home. And all officers said, like, you know, stay behind, get pissed and whatnot. So I thought, yeah, go on. So me and one other comedian stayed behind, so we'll get trained back tomorrow. Mrs. weren't happy about that because it used most of me feet up. So anyway, we get pissed up. I stayed behind. They put me up in bunk beds for the night, and I pissed the bed. Right, I get Watson on phone next day saying that they've had to incinerate the mattress and that he's taking 50 quid. 50 quid
Is
off
this the army?
feet.
This the army, this?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I didn't believe him. You know what I mean?
It was a roll.
He lied a lot, didn't he? He saw an opportunity. He probably did get a complaint that I pissed. I didn't piss the bed. I've got an habit, me, when I'm drunk, that I just go and stand in corners and piss there, or piss in a wardrobe, or I'll piss on your face. Doesn't matter. I'll just piss anywhere. I pissed once. Got pissed up after a gig. And I went back to my sister's house and I pissed all over me nephew's schoolwork. Imagine going to school on Monday. Sorry, I've not done my homework. My uncle pissed on it.
That's beautiful. There's a fella called John Bordy who joins the live chat, and his mate was owed £10 who somebody didn't pay him. So he actually had a shit. He had a shit in an ETVHS cassette box and posted it through his letterbox.
The fuck, mate?
Yeah, but that was funny as fuck. That's what you can't do. Things like that with live streaming, can you? You can't shit on a live stream and post it to somebody, can you? But you know, I actually urinate down my own stairs sometimes, and I'm not even drunk.
On purpose?
No, because like when you live on your own, it's like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. You can throw chip papers everywhere, and you can piss down your stairs, and you can have fun. You can scream. You can just randomly... I won't do it because it'll bleed over at Mike. I sometimes walk around the house shouting "fuck off" dead loud for nothing. Do you ever do that?
Anyway, no, Jimmy, no, not to be honest, mate.
What it is, I've got a medical coming up on 16th. I'm going to take this in as fucking evidence.
I would do as well. I talk to myself now and again, but how far can you piss? Like, can you at the bottom, or have you got a record?
Well, the stairs goes like kind of on a twist, so I've not got that technique yet.
You need to get a fan.
I'm not going to spin. I should probably deflect a shield, like them mirrors what you use for seeing supermarkets.
You do, yeah.
They could like redirect the piss.
I'll tell you what, I've got the perfect thing for you. The toilets here, they've got them hand dryers. And before, I'd pissed on my hand a bit, so I put my hand in it, but I was still having a piss with my other hand, and I'd see me piss go off on a curve. Like.
You know what? A lot of people piss on their hands because it hardens the skin up.
No,
I don't know what.
Another thing I've never heard.
If you
just making this shit up.
No, if you want hard skin on your hands, just piss out. I've not been taught. I've never done it. A Shinto monk from Skulls told me. They said he was a Shinto monk. He was in a doorway covered in his own...
He was just some tramp, weren't he?
He was in a doorway covered in his own shit, but he said he was a Shinto monk previously. He had an orange curtain on covered in shit, so it could have been. One of the best gigs we ever did. This is going to be a fucking episode and a half, this, isn't it? For fuck's sake. Colin's fucking got his head in his hands over there. The best gig we did, and I think you might agree on this, is the Tamar...
Yeah,
December 2000. Am I right in thinking it was December 2018?
Yeah,
it was 2018, wasn't it?
Yeah, we turned up at this little tiny pub, and I thought, it's no bigger than this little studio area, and I was like, what have you done for me again, Jimmy?
I know that was a regular thing. Where the fuck have you brought?
Thing is, no, you got to a point now. You don't get me wrong, Jimmy. You give me some great gigs, and I quite like them kind of gigs anyway, because that's the real person's kind of gig. You know what I mean? These are down to earth. Like comedy goers, not pretentious fucking Kaylee students or anything like that. You know what I mean? These are snowflakes. These are people who get all kinds of humour. You know what I mean? And they were great gigs to do, but quite often you turn up at a gig and there'd be a pallet in corner, and we'd have to stand. And that's not a lie. That's true.
Golden light.
That'd be a stage.
A lot of the time, the gigs we got was like it's like you just turned up into a pub. And just with a microphone, and it was like at Christmas time, they were jostling get served, and these thick twats who book you expect you to be a fucking wizard and expect to work in them circumstances. And we had to tell her. It was downstairs, wasn't it? The place was fucking shock, and the bar was 6 deep at Christmas, and they had a little area around people with fucking tables and chairs. And I said, "This is unplayable. We can't fucking do this." And she was like, "Oh."
That was a different one. That was a different than Tamar. That was another one.
But like the Tamar when we walked in,
they already had upstairs, didn't they? Yeah.
The Tamar, we walked in and I thought, where the fuck are we playing? We're going to be in that corner over there, and they're not going to give a fuck. And then they said, "Oh, it's upstairs." And I thought, for fuck's sake. And we went upstairs, and they set it out like a comedy room, all theatre style chairs and all that. And it was a fucking amazing fucking show.
Oh, it was probably one of the best ones we've done. There's that one, and there was a really big room.
The Botanical Gardens.
Botanical Gardens was really good as well.
You was very good that night.
I think Sky nailed it. That's why I thought it was good.
You're very good. You're very quick-witted. I remember at the Jamie King Topping. He watches these, and this was at the Rabbit Saloon. And do you remember he had that like fucking Clint Eastwood wool poncho?
Yeah.
And he said my nan's been selling all the fucking clothes on eBay, and that was fucking one that sticks in my mind kind of thing. But
I know what you mean. Yeah, he came to a few gigs today.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Hello,
nice
Jamie.
lad.
We're not taking the piss at all. And the Tamar was a brilliant night. We couldn't put a fucking foot wrong, really. But what we did,
we made a massive error, though, didn't we?
When you go to the top of the mountain, where you're going to go from that? So we booked the room again in March, and it was fucking shit. They turned the room round the other way. The crowd was just shit. And
they're brutally honest as well. I remember them coming up to me afterwards and going, "You were fucking amazing first time, Russell." Average. That was like, cheers, guys.
Then I was taking piss out of tattoos. And somebody, I said, "What does that tattoo mean?" And he said, "You don't want me to tell you." And it was about something with his relative had died. I thought, for fuck's sake. That Cockney Jim, do you remember him? He was meant to do a turn and he shit him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really good, mate. I'm not Mike Reid. I've done the fucking... I've always...
Like Mike Reid. All these jokes were Mike Reid's.
I've always wanted to be a comedian. And Oh, and there was that meltdown in Goulburn. Do you remember I threw out money at her?
I think that was the last gig we did together.
Yeah, that was.
I was gutted about that as well, mate, because you got a nice little number there as well.
I destroyed it on purpose.
But you'd done long enough to accept that money, and then you just threw all the fucking money up in the air. I had to go around collecting it, give it you, and then they came to the car and got it back off.
I'm like this fella in Batman. I'm big on destroying things. That's what I get off on. And this gig was going kind of alright, and there was this knobhead who kept heckling, and I kept laying into him.
Some girl, wasn't
and there was some fucking woman at back filming it. I says, "What are you filming this for?" And she carried on. And the worst thing with hecklers is women, not necessarily all women, but when you get a woman heckler who's pissed, they're like the back, like, and they won't shut up, and they fucking they ruin a gig kind of thing. That is sexist. I started to get everybody.
You actually jumped off stage, didn't you? Went up to the camera, didn't you?
I went up to the stage. I went up to the woman. I fucking had a go at her, and that had just killed the gig anyway. And I got my fee in my pocket, and I just threw it in the air, and I said, "That's it, I'm fucking done." And the atmosphere was dead then, and I'm on stage unpacking everything. And
if I'd known that you were, when they came to the car, you were just going to hand it over to him again, I would have took a ton out of that, mate, and put it in my own pocket.
And I paid, do you know that fucking Cockney Jim? He got 50 quid for doing 3 jokes.
You paid Cockney Jim?
I paid you fucking £50 for 3 jokes off a fucking cornflake box. And you'd have a Range Rover, and I live in a council house with no carpets and urine downstairs, and you're there taking money off me. You despicable character. You know. But the time our first time round was the best. We've had some good times. It got towards the end with it all got boring, didn't it? And like the numbers were down, and you know, nobody's working now. None of these comedians.
Problem with you though, as well, like, is that if people like want to look at you before they see you, they go on YouTube and a little fucking Asian lad called Jimmy or Yang comes on, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. The main problem, I don't know how to word this. There's this wet market bat eating Wuhan fella called Jimmy or Yang. So people go to type Jimmy O in YouTube, and a little kitchen sink with glasses on comes up. I've so far I've escaped the YouTube AI. Don't worry, Russell, I'm clever as fuck with this. And it really fucking frustrating. I wish I had a better name, like David Zegalon or something, an original. I don't know what the fuck that means, but a name what you can type in Google. And it's just you what comes up. But Jimmy O'Neill, it's so fucking common. There's a million Irish flaggers called it. And there was an Everton goalkeeper, I think, called Jimmy O. I think there's a bar in Liverpool called Jimmy O's. And it's fucking... Everything I've done, my name's been done before. There's only me what's not been done before. And I realise at this point, I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about.
You converted the pecking order to an Asian comedian, pub, and then you...
And a plasterer. There's a plasterer in Southport. Then I come up with my joke. He's here with his joke. And even his flat cap's been used by Peaky Blinders. He's a complete fucking burnout. Fuck him off. Let's watch Adam roll with his woggy eye. He'll get it Illuminati straight away, won't he, the woggy-eyed little cunt. Fuck you. You people, I don't give a fuck about you.
He's been drinking again.
I don't care.
He's off.
No, anyway.
Well,
Russell, I believe you started your own YouTube channel.
He's back.
Sorry, I've put him away now. My name is Legion because we.
I've actually got a little tear coming out of my eye right now.
My name is Legion for we are many for any biblical people. I've got all pages from Bible all over me. My house and a crucifix and shit.
People could put comments below, but like a new name for you.
Oh, I'm going to get loads of shit for this. I'm not fucking arsed. Anyway, Russell, yes. I believe in this lockdown kind of period. You also have started your own YouTube channel.
I have, mate. Yeah, but it's nothing. Yeah, it's away from
Eat, Sleep, United, Repeat.
Yeah.
If you want to, we'll put the link below. And he has a Twitter too. Eat, Sleep, United, Repeat. And you're a big football fan.
Massive.
What age did you get into football?
Straight away. Like my old man said, I was...
Follow the van, sorry.
My old man literally said I was trying to say Man United before I was even saying Daddy, and that I just loved it. Like I'd have a kit on straight away. I was always playing football, literally indoors, outdoors. My mum and dad tolerated me. They'd get like a sponge ball for inside and a proper ball for outside. Absolutely loved it. It's been my biggest passion all my life.
What's the thing about it? Why do you like it so much? No, I'm not. I'm trying to be serious.
That's what we're talking about. And I'm thinking about the
earlier about rape.
Yeah, that's just stuck in my head. Now.
If you're only just joining in, I equated football to rape, where there's two teams and the goal represents a vagina, and the ball represents a metaphorical penis. And
but for me, I see that more intimately. Rather than rape, it'd be like intimately pulling it into that goal. It'd be like love making.
That'd be a rough night out though, wouldn't it? Booting a fucking penis into it. I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about. Come here, love. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, I shouted down the mic. Where am I? Seriously, we're talking about... You've loved football from being a child.
Yeah, and I played at a good level. You know, I've been at Blackpool Football Club and I've had trials at like Morecambe and Southport, etc. Not like big clubs or out like that, but
I've had a few trials.
yeah. I bet we all, mate. And and I lost the love for football for many years after that because I thought I was going to make it. You know, I'd had like coaches and scouts take me to places and say, this is your man, he's great and that, so I give up on my fucking GCSEs and whatnot, thinking
was any of them dodgy, saying like pulling the knobs out and things?
Nah, I didn't get any.
Proper ones.
Not that I can remember.
I can make you a star. How's about that then?
No, mate, nothing like that. It was all above board and what. Have you got stories like that or something? For
what
your
about
days,
being molested? I've escaped child molesters 3 times in my life, but it's not about me. This show. Well, that's for another show.
Right, go on.
These two are looking really uncomfortable over there. So,
are you not getting on to that?
Do you want me to talk about that?
About it being
We might as well.
almost molested.
It's in my book, but since none of you got fucking buy it, I might as well fucking tell you.
But
first time, I'm just talking about my 3 pedo escape incidents.
Just 3.
I was coming home from the shop in Ince, and this fella pulled up at the side of me in a black Capri, flung the door open, and screamed at me. And it looked like Freddie Mercury. It wasn't him. And he had an handlebar moustache, and he screamed at me, "Kevin!" And I just looked at him, and I legged it home. It's not very interesting, but that was the first pedo escape.
Good car Capri as well, isn't it?
There's a better one
nice
here.
Car.
Where my mate used to live in Ince, there was a disused scout hut. We're on it already, haven't we? And we was playing in this with all this old asbestos.
It's a perfect setting.
It was all old asbestos. It was the 80s, Mike, and we used to eat it then. It was fucking acceptable. And we was playing on a rainy Sunday morning in this old disused scout hut right across from his house. And it was just us there. And this lad come in his 20s with a grey hoodie on. And he just stood near us. And he didn't even look at me or anything like that. Luckily, me being a knobhead didn't let me down, and I stood on a nail and a piece of wood. So at this point, I'm dragging this nail and a plank of wood to my house. You know what I mean? Because I've got a nail stuck in my foot, and my mate got molested.
Oh, you're joking?
It's a true story. That's a true story. That. And the third.
They're laughing.
The third. They just want me molested. They're into rape football. The third incident, my granddad used to live in a bungalow in Scholes, what's it called? They're like fucking, no, they're called flats, aren't they? This fella went to the fucking bungalow and the flat next door looking through the window. And my cousin says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm looking for Alan." And my cousin says, "I know where Alan works. He works over Foster's Field. Do you want me to take you?"
Oh, no.
And I just run in the house and I said, "Fucking get onto this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And apparently though, there was no Facebook in them days. Everybody around Scholes was looking for a fucking. He had a cherry red Datsun. Is it a Datsun Cherry?
Yeah.
He had a proper pedo car in the. Everybody in Scholes was looking for it with no Facebook. They just had like fucking. Toilet roll tubes, like the flat windows, you know, looking for a fucking Datsun, a red Datsun Cherry.
Walking around with
probably
pick out.
It had probably had smoke, like somebody had drawn it, like, you know what I mean, kind of thing, and funny wheels on, like something. I don't know the fucking thing, I Russell, but
my mate once gone. So have
you never been molested off a pedo?
I've never been molested. No, I once got followed. I remember when I was about 15, getting followed. But I felt like I was being followed. He might have just been going to an house a bit further down the road for all I know. But my mate did. We got my old infant school. It's a listed building, so they can't knock it down. But it's derelict now. It's a lovely building. And we went past it with car one day. I went to football training, and my mate went, "Oh," he said, "Look at that, isn't it a shame?" I said, "Yeah." I'm laughing now, thinking about it. It's not even funny. I said, "Yeah, it's a shame that, mate." He said, "Do you remember when we were like 5, 6 years old? And nurse used to come round and they'd take you in that room upstairs and they'd drop your pants and hold your balls and make you cough." Oh, no, mate. You've been touched, lad. It's horrible to think about. He spent all his life just thinking that happened to all of us, and it didn't happen to all of us.
I sometimes worry, have I turned out like this because I've been secretly molested?
Well, I thought this in the past.
I don't know. I'm just conjecturing. I'm not accusing anybody of anything like that.
No. Well, no, I haven't. I had a really good upbringing, mate. Don't know what fucked me up.
I'm not saying my parents didn't molest me. It's just me. I'm just fucking thinking twisted stars. I've had too much of this fucking coffee. I don't know what the fuck Colin's put in it. But one of these lads, though, who was molested, he ended up going over at Fields playing at Cemetery with his mate. And this fucking fella, in the 80s, there was loads of pedos.
He didn't get done twice, did he?
Yeah. Well, he took him in a fucking old boiler room over at Cemetery, started wanking off in front of him and said, "This is what your mum and dad do." And anyway, this lad's mum went to police station with him. And when he was giving the statement and said that, the lad's mum burst out laughing.
You're joking.
And, but...
you get done once, though, that's horrible. Get done twice, I'm starting to think it's
what
your
was
fault.
that saying? For shame on you? Was it, you fooled me once? He might have had like nice underpants on or something, what was like seductive to people. He might have had them like Superman underfrants you used to go in the 80s or the cowboy ones with an imaginary gun on. What the fuck I'm going on about now? This is terrible, this episode, but... I'm not asked. I'll do what I want, mate. So we've gone from
Eat, Sleep,
we've gone from
Repeat.
your Eat, Sleep, United, Repeat to getting this van base. But let's go back to your what inspired you to start your YouTube channel.
Right, so it was lockdown. I'm bored, thinking what to do, and I love football. So I thought I'll turn to football Twitter and just start a Twitter account. Talk to football fans, talk to United fans. Before I knew it, it kind of took off, and like the natural entertainer in me came out, and I was people were following me, and they were retweeting me, and they were laughing at me, and enjoying me. I thought, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start doing a YouTube channel, just for my own sanity, if anything, during lockdown, and yeah, it's doing quite well. It's took off. I've done a few collaborations with some decent other podcasts like that United fan.
From this one. Are you sure you wanted this to go out? You know what I mean? You might lose fucking thousands of followers.
It's going out. I don't know if I'm going to promote it.
I wouldn't have you. I'd fucking it'd be the one you never talk about, kind of thing. Have you tweeted any famous people? Have they retweeted you? Any famous footballers?
I don't think so. Lou Macari.
He's an old one.
Lou Macari, Norman Whiteside, some from the 80s that follow me.
Are they sportsman's dinners people? They're the sportsman's dinners.
I imagine that they both do. Norman Whiteside definitely, because he's going to have some stories. He was like from the 80s when they used to just all get on pop and whatnot. And he got his career ended quite early when he was 28 due to injury. So exploit it as much as you can for me. Yeah,
I'm just getting images of being sat there behind a pasting table with a cloth over it, eating bad food. And,
we're back there again, aren't we?
No, man, tell me about the incident with the in the park. I'm not. He didn't really do anything like that. I'm just fucking. I don't know. I don't really need to edit that right. I'm sorry. I've ruined it. Russell has a podcast. It's called Eat, Sleep, United, Repeat.
You don't even have to like you don't even have to like United. If you like football, there's a bit of comedy on it. I've got a comedy character called Kevin. Just get across there, give it a sub.
Please subscribe to it. Some of my live stream community already have kind of thing.
Yeah, some of you already been across there, and I'd seen. I ain't got a lot of followers, but I lost a couple yesterday, and I thought it's because it's first video I've put out since your subscribers subbed to me.
All right,
and they've probably seen it and gone, nah.
Well, I hope not. I hope
joking,
not,
mate.
But. I think, Russell, it's been offensive, but
it's been crazy, mate. It's been a roller coaster.
I'd like to apologise if I've offended anybody in the comedy community. I wouldn't really, because you created this monster, and you must deal with the consequences. And I hope the person who's going to be giving me a medical on the 16th at the Dole sees my mental state, and I could perhaps use this as evidence. Please subscribe to Eat, Sleep, United, Repeat. Colin is still building up his Tesla fund. Please, can you donate to this channel towards my mental well-being? I need to go somewhere. I need to go to the Betty Ford Centre or something because my head's gone. But please, can you donate to this channel? Please support Russell and E's channel. Is there anything else you'd subscribe? Please be one of the fucking 15 people who'll watch this fucking podcast when we put it on. I'll be there on Saturday night refreshing like a lonely old bastard for nothing. And that's it, really. I'm really sorry for everything. And don't buy any fucking.
Do you think it went well then, Jimmy?
I just said, don't buy any furniture from Wayfarer. You might get something in your fucking drawers you don't want. It went on. I don't know how it went really. How do you think it went?
I'd have to look back, to be quite honest, without giving judgment right now.
Do you want to sign a disclaimer or anything like that?
Yeah.
Thanks.